Oh, whoa. Okay. Hey guys. So in lieu of my interview to go live, which I had to do in person, I am now doing a reflection video, instead with Acquinn. And,
All right.
um, so let's see. All right. So how are you, Acquinn?
Good.
Awesome, awesome. I know recently you went live on Facebook, correct?
Yes. Did you can see me?
So how was that experience? Yeah, no, I see you.
Okay. The experience was good. Um, Usually when I'm in a position like that, like interviewing something big like a CEO, I'd be nervous, but
Hmm.
I wasn't nervous because I've met him face to face once. I was part of student government for in Atlantic Cape Community College, and we went to a Washington D.C. national conference, where is all the SGA student government goes to Washington D.C. We all meet, and they're speakers. And funny story was my advisor at the time, his name is Doug Mills, and he know Andy Ortiz because he been to Washington D.C. in the conference like 5 times. I'm just throwing out
Right.
numbers, but it was a long time, and
Hmm.
I came to cause I went to look for him, and I came to his conference, his session, and at the end he was like, I introduced myself to him. My advisor said, go introduce yourself. I said hi and everything, and then like we connected ever since. So that was 2015, and we're still friends, and we still connected on LinkedIn, Facebook.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the person I interviewed was Dan Scher, and he's the digital marketing director for the Press of Atlantic City.
Yep.
And even though we couldn't go live, like he was really insightful in that, media today is just ever changing, and you just kind of have to keep up with it.
Yes, it is really.
But yeah, how has this experience like impacted you? Because we were talking before, and I know you wanted to start your own show.
Yes, actually, I started the Facebook page, so I was interested, and another funny story is, when I was on the live, his friend was there, isn't Kate Alden,
Hmm.
and come to know she's another CEO of her company, and she saw how good I did. Well, how I did the interview, and she said she's interested in having an interview. So I'm going to be having another interview in coming weeks. On Wednesday, we're going to be having our talk, like our prep talk,
Hmm.
because you know how, because she's in a very busy schedule.
Right.
So she took schedule out her time to like talk to me, and we
Hmm.
prep, and we gonna and like I just want to ask her like some questions.
Hmm.
Like tell me about herself, about her company, and that will give me an idea to generate the questions.
Right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
I mean, um, personally, like I enjoy the Facebook Lives. I remember last semester, I had to do it with Dr. I for the stock boy, who's a millionaire teenager.
yeah,
And that was a really cool experience, but I I don't know, I guess I'm camera shy, so like for me it's a little bit different, but I that's a great opportunity.
yeah. Because I saw the show, and you was awesome for one.
Thank you.
No problem. And and like when I was on it, you didn't seem camera shy. It's just a matter of getting used to it.
Yeah, I used to be a nursing major, and one of the things they tell you sometimes is fake it till you make it.
Well, yeah.
Which is like, okay, no, yeah, like it's a good experience to have, especially as a comm major when you want to do different things, and like I think every comm major should at least do this once or twice and
Mhm.
just kind of get themselves in it. Um, but yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought the assignment itself was interesting itself, and you know, Dr. I is a one of a kind
Yes,
professor.
she is.
Um, yeah. So what have you learned, you know, in interacting with these people and about yourself and about what you want to do for the future?
I learned one, they're people too. Like in the
Mm-hmm.
past, like other people might have the perceptions thinking that they're busy people, they may be
Mm-hmm.
too good for us. Like
Right.
I asked Andy on LinkedIn during spring break, and come to know that he, without hesitation, he agreed to the to for me to interview him, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
honored, like because I
Right.
never had that experience before, and from coming from a CEO, although I
Mm-hmm.
know him, but from his title, that make me that made me think that yeah, they're people too. I know they're
Mm-hmm.
very busy and all, but he took out time out of his busy schedule to interview me,
Right.
and that makes me think that how you could say it, they're people too. Like there's no
Right.
such thing as like a perfectionist. A perfectionist, they're too good for you kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
We're all people.
Right. Yeah, I um some people know that I'm an intern at the Press of Atlantic City. So, you know, one of my very first stories that I kind of had to write on my own, we do a column every other week or every week or so of a story called My Happy Place.
Hmm.
So my very first person I had to interview, and I did this alone and with a photographer, was Brian Jackson, who is the chief operating officer of the Atlantic City's campus
Oh,
at
nice.
Stockton. So that was interesting. So he was the COO. Just recently, I wrote an esports story for the press, which was published digitally as well. Um, I didn't realize that until it was like probably a couple days before, but I didn't realize that I was interviewing the chief information officer of Stockton University, because he was present, and I was like, oh my god, like, and you know, these guys are like, they're
Top of the line.
yeah, and you know, they're. It's not that they were overbearing or anything like that. It was more so like I was a little bit in shock and in awe, and it was really cool, and you know, Brian Jackson, if anyone ever really knows him, like student wise at Stockton, he is very generous. You know, he's helped out so many students more than people realize.
Hmm.
You know, Scott Houston too. Um, he has helped so much in, you know, in information wise when it comes to Stockton and like things like that. So I think you're right when it comes to the point that, like, you know, these people are just people. And yeah, they might have a very, very fancy title that
Hmm.
could be worth millions, but in the end, like, you know, be humble and just courteous to everyone. And yeah, sometimes not everyone is available to do interviews and or make time, but at the very least, like, you tried.
Yep.
So,
And actually, like for my second guess, um, like in reference to like when you say busy, she actually sent me a link like
hmm
from her page to like
hmm
it's a schedule. So
oh, wow.
yeah, so the options was 30 minutes, an hour, or
hmm
10 minutes for a quick session. So you had to jot down a time,
Right.
so it will automatically go to her calendar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So on my Facebook page, not my official, not my page, is the um this professional spotlight page.
Right.
I have it. I have her on there. So
hmm
and I have my takeaways from. I did a LinkedIn blog on all the takeaways I did with
hmm
Andrew Ortiz.
hmm
And when I meet him face to face, like to be honest, I was intimidated too because of his
Yeah.
title and all, and come to know that he's a world recognized speaker. Like
hmm
he was well known internationally,
hmm
and for me to interview him, I was like, wow. But as I say, like I met him once and I felt comfortable, and
And I think it's, oh, no, sorry, continue.
and we and before, like when he said yes, we stayed connected and we communicate. And
hmm
the time before, I send like he said to send me the question way beforehand. I sent him the questions like 2 weeks in advance. So,
hmm
cause he's busy, so he'll have time for him to like practice, and that's how
Right.
the show was supposed to be 30 minutes, but it comes to an hour or two.
Right.
Yeah.
I, I think like being able to interview, like being in the position to be able to interview um, these people who are very well recognized and very accomplished, it's like a really good learning experience. And
Hmm.
like, yeah, it looks great on your resume that you interviewed this big person, but I feel like also personally, like I've gotten advice from every single person that I've interviewed at the press, and doing the Facebook Live with Dr. I last semester, like having that feedback is also very positive in the sense that it also shows like it's possible to get into their position, and this is their perspective of how things are, and just what we should do to keep going and whatnot.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool that like the advice that they give.
Yes, and actually, one advice that he did during his show is stuck to me to this day,
Mm-hmm.
and is quoted from an African proverb: "Is
Mm-hmm.
when you die, a library of knowledge burns to the ground."
Mm-hmm.
So think about it, like a library of knowledge burning down when you die. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing from it is he's a leadership trainer.
Okay.
He teaches. He targeted young people to like leadership coaching. So
Cool.
his advice is to share the knowledge, share with
Mm-hmm.
people like your leadership skills and all, and
Right.
that will prevent you, like God forbid, if you pass away, your leadership
Mm-hmm.
knowledge won't be wasted. It'll
Mm-hmm.
go to another person, and then that person will share their knowledge
Right.
with them, and it will go on
Right.
until you leave like a legacy. You might never know.
Right. It's like having um the ripple effect
Yes.
where like just one person makes such like a big impact on hundreds and thousands of other people. And I think that's also really incredible too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was interviewing Dan Scher, um, I asked him, like, what is one of the advices that you would give to college students and for people who are looking to go into, communications field and or even social media as a job. And he was just like, it's a job. It's a real job. Like, you live and breathe it, and it's something that you have to keep up with every single day and like every hour. And for students who think that, like, oh yeah, social media is just posting things and sharing things, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, like, yeah, I already, because I also work for my dad doing social media, so like I have a little bit of a taste of like knowing what that entails. And I think a lot of like the younger generation, like still in high school or whatnot, like those who are just like, oh yeah, that's an easy job. Like, I just have to have my phone on me at all times or like whatever. It's like, that's not true. Like, it's still a job, it's still a career, and like it's you're also a brand in itself. Like, you have to be marketable too.
Yep. That's why Dr. I said produce content
Yeah.
in a daily,
Yeah.
watch you do it on a daily basis. And I actually watch her show,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned a lot. And I learned from when she went to her conference that she even said, like, in the future businesses
Mm-hmm.
will rely on streaming, live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
The normal way of doing business is gonna be gone, and everything will be
Right.
digital feedback, and we're in the future.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even now, like, so many kids own iPads or like iPhones already and whatnot and tablets, and it's just insane on how like people, like, my siblings, for example, like, they're all very young
Hmm.
and they know how to work YouTube. Like, they know how to post videos, they know how to use Snapchat. And my youngest brother is 2 years old, and I'm just like, where did you learn this? Like, how, like, when we were younger, we used like the computers where it was like big and
Yeah,
clunky and like
that,
slow. And it's just incredible how media and technology has changed culture.
yes, because actually I'm from Trinidad and Tobago,
Mm-hmm.
and I came up here when I was 7 years old, and before I like before when I was there, I always dreamed of having a computer and all, because things
Right.
down there is so expensive to
Mm-hmm.
get. And when I came up here and I was in school, I saw my first computer, and
Right.
I fell in love with like I was part of, like, computer club and all ever since in
Mm-hmm.
elementary school to now. I love technology. I love gadgets. I love anything technical.
Right. No, yeah, I completely understand. I remember learning how to use a computer when I was probably 8, 9 years old, and I was like, this is incredible. Like, I could do anything with this.
Yeah.
And um, it's really true though. You really can do almost anything with like the internet nowadays. And like, um, 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't expect like a job in social media.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect a job in digital marketing or, you know, uh, technology being so advanced in ITs and, the different forms of advertising now.
Yep.
It's just,
Incredible.
It's very progressive, and
Yeah.
like it scares me because like, what happens in 20 years from now? Like they're still refining, the drive your own car, like the car driving for you and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And it's just like, what's next? Cars that fly for you, and you just put
Yeah.
in like, the address and it'll go there.
Yeah, because well, last semester I was in my job. I was working at the residential life for upperclassmen, and I
Hmm.
was on the computer and I found out that somewhere in China or China, one of the countries in Asia, that
Hmm.
they made their first AI reporter. The reporter is an AI.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, and it's 24 hours.
Hmm.
And wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's just like, when they say like the robots or the androids or whatever are going to be taking over, like
Yeah,
they're really taking over,
yep, that's true.
Um, I mean, in a way, like that makes me a little bit sad because, like, I always loved the little stores and boutiques and like
Hmm.
the towns where everything is very like homemade, homey, and like things like that. And to think that major corporations will be taking over and things like that, it's a little sad too, because like, yeah, we're advancing and we're making things easily accessible for us, and things have evolved where you don't even have to be in the same room to talk to someone.
Hmm.
But it's also like, the traditional things that I think I would miss too if they disappeared completely.
Yes, that's true.
Like I went to Vegas last year and they had a cupcake ATM, and I was like, what in the world? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah, I just think that, it's a double-edged sword too.
yeah. Because I follow Dr. I on Instagram too, and
Hmm.
I saw in Korea they have a VR cafe.
Hmm.
You could you could go on VR. You could they have VR headsets and you could play games and
Right.
stuff while you wait for your coffee.
Right, right.
And I think I think she was in the airport and I
Hmm.
saw a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that's my favorite buddy. She said that's a robot. I'm like that's scary.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, like that's another like I really want to go to Japan because like everything there is like very advanced in a sense, but also traditional. Like, you have women still wearing traditional Japanese clothing, but then you
Yeah,
also have robots roaming the streets
yeah.
like, hey, like that. I think that's so cool, like that
Mhm.
um coexisting nature like that. I think that's
Yeah.
amazing. And one of the things that like, you know, here too, do you think the United States would be able to do that though?
Hmm. Um. No, because I know in Japan, China, Tokyo, and all, they make their stuff first,
Hmm.
and then like when they came out with something new, they basically recycling it to us.
Hmm.
Because you notice the new phone, like the new Samsung 10, they're now
Hmm.
starting with 5G,
Right.
whereas in China they already had theirs for years, and they
Hmm.
possibly come out with 6G already.
I mean, I think on the downside of that is though China also censors some things and
Mhm.
whatnot, and I think with their advancement in technology, like if you've ever read the book 1984, like, that gives government and corporations more control over data information that could be really damaging to anyone. Like imagine like you just jokingly text to someone, you know, a crude joke or some sort,
Mm.
and then all of a sudden the cops are at your door like, you're being arrested now.
Yeah,
That's also very scary too,
that
I
is.
think. Yeah. Um, but do you have a date yet for your interview, your next interview?
No, because on Wednesday we're gonna have like our chat, and
Right.
then we're gonna set the date. We're gonna set the date.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So feel free to like the page, and for more
Hmm.
information. And I post different like quotes. I I want my page to be more interactive. I plan
Right.
on hosting. I put in polls. I
Hmm.
like host different things that Facebook, all the Facebook features and stuff. I'll
Hmm.
do like a live video, like more
Hmm.
interactive. Cause you don't want a Facebook page. You just don't want to see me talking and
Right.
me putting quotes and stuff. I want
Right.
input. I want y'all to help me make my page. Like I just want the page to not just be about me, all about
Hmm.
us, about all of us.
Yeah. Especially being students and still learning ourselves.
Yeah, cause me, I'm not a traditional way of like sitting down at a desk, listening to
Hmm.
somebody talk for hours. I'm
Right.
I'm more. That's why I picked Dr. I for all her classes. She's
Hmm.
an entrepreneur. She practices what she teaches.
Hmm.
And
I think that's something too. I feel like professors should practice what they teach.
yes, for real.
Because I feel like, and I'm not going to name who, at Stockton, but like Stockton professors, and this goes for, you know, not just the comm field, like they don't all do what they teach. And I think that's something that should be really known
Hmm.
and rectified
Yeah,
because that, how are you going to teach someone to do something a certain way, but then not do it yourself?
yeah, because the best way to retain information is to be more hands-on.
Right,
Yeah, like for
right.
like a communication professor, like for PR, especially
Mm-hmm.
like host different trips and
Right,
like do different activities around the
right.
campus. Take us to like the president suite, like for like the
Mm-hmm.
university relations, and you know,
Right, yeah.
I make.
I know we have the PRSSA, and I know they're doing incredible, and I know someone who's on the board as well, and they do take trips, but like I feel with that, like that is something that not all students can make.
Mhm.
Some of the trips that they've planned are during my internship hours, and I can't make it.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, utilizing class time to do these things, like you had said, to teach us and to show us, I think is a great way
yeah,
for us to learn.
because at Dr. I quoted, "The show me economy is over.
Hmm.
Is the do it, like the do it
Right,
economy is in full effect. Basically, it's
right.
on right now. Cause that's why how that's just like this is like the movement DIY, do it yourself.
Hmm.
That's basically it. Like you could do your own show using Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or
Hmm.
anything else. And you could because actually my sister have like a toy, not toy, but like she got like a formula like to make your own bath bombs,
Hmm.
like or like, and it say DIY, do it yourself. You
Right.
can make your own bath bombs and stuff. That's the
Hmm.
best way of teaching. That's the best way of
Right.
learning because to retain,
No, 100%.
yeah, to retain information, you have to practice it. You
Hmm.
can't just sit down there and listen to somebody talk for you.
Yeah, especially since, most of these classes we have are twice a week and they're 2 hours, and
Mm,
like,
yeah.
you know, my writing skills have definitely improved, from classes like these where we're assigned essays and whatnot. But at the same time, you know, the the trends are changing and
Hmm.
everything is much more digital. And I'm not gonna lie, I only really learned how to use like Adobe InDesign like a couple days ago, at least the very basics of it. And it's just annoying because like it's the same thing as when we were in high school and like we're learning trigonometry. And
Mm,
it's just like, why are we learning trigonometry? We don't really need this in the future unless, you're going into a field that requires trigonometry. But
yeah.
like, but no one taught us how to do taxes. No one
Hmm.
taught us how to like balance checkbooks. No one taught us like the necessities that we are going to have to learn to do for ourselves in life. And I think this also applies with our studies, Yeah, we're learning all of these semantics, but what about the core of everything?
True. True. That's the.
So,
Yep. That's why. That again. Dr. I quoted say like that this education system is corrupted, and
right.
it truly is because they like everybody putting the young our young people like ourselves. We have to go to college. We have to go to college, but
Mm-hmm.
in the long run, a piece of, you go in there for a piece of paper and you you spending all this money and time earning a piece of
Mm-hmm.
paper, whereas you could go to like you could as practice it. As I say, the do it yourself movement. You there's YouTube. You could do like you could watch demonstrations how to do stuff. Um,
Right.
and there's different methods like it's sad that you need that piece of paper. Well, it is
Mm-hmm.
it is useful, but because you learn all the
Right.
skills, but you don't know hands on. Like
Right.
like teachers need to be more hands on, other than more.
That's,
Yeah.
no, that's exactly why I love Dr. I because she's very progressive in the way she teaches.
Hmm.
And if you've ever had like CMC with Shen, he's great too
I
because
did. I
like
did last semester.
I'm doing it this semester. Yeah, it's he teaches you the basics of like Excel and PowerPoint that you need to know, but at the same time, he gives us, the sheets, like the Excel sheets that
Hmm.
you're going to need to know and use in the future, like, the mortgage kind of thing and like the taxes and
Yep.
like student loans and how to pay them off effectively. And I think like lessons like those like are priceless because,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, yeah, you're already paying for it because you're here at school, but um yeah, it's things that like sometimes, you know, people don't have parents who can teach them or
Hmm.
a figure in which that will help them. And some students are unable to learn from professors because of their traditional methods, and then it's really unfortunate that things are still in the day and age of like SAT scores matter and like essays matter and having like all these things that are just semantics.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you need a solid, foundation, of course. Like, yeah, you have to be a good writer in order to portray your thoughts to people, but you also have to be personable and be able to talk to people.
Yep. Because I admit like my writing skills is not that good. I hate math. Um, but I'm real good with computers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like not to gloat or anything, but my people skills are like 100%. Like
I believe
yeah,
it.
I love talking to people. Like they always say, don't talk to strangers, but I can't help it. They say hi and everything. This makes somebody's day.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like just, complimenting someone on something or seeing someone not, feeling the best or,
Hmm.
whatnot, and just giving a compliment or saying hello, like courteous things,
Yeah.
that I think people have forgotten to do. Um, Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And like I envy you in that sense where like you're able to use computers so effectively and like to be so interested in them and technology and whatnot. Like I'm not gonna lie, I am a better writer than I am probably when it comes to digital interactions, interviews like this.
Hmm.
Um, I am more comfortable talking to people in person. Um, than over a screen, surprisingly. But um, it's it's something that I'm working on,
Hmm.
and I think like even after this, assignment too, like I'll still be working on it, like being able to get myself to, you know, have digital interviews more and like reach out to people who aren't even in the area. So it has to be a digital interview.
Yep.
And then, maybe one day I'll do a live of something like that.
Yeah. Like first, like when I talked to my interviewee, um,
Hmm.
Andy Ortiz, he mentioned that you don't have to start like in a big expensive studio, like
Hmm.
like I did my live show in a closet in Stockton. Like I made downstairs in the production area.
Hmm.
I made like I knew the guy that was there, and
Hmm.
I asked him for a favor. Like, cause I looked all over campus. I cannot find a quiet area. So he said, no
Right.
problem. I'll take. Cause he said the place might be small and stuff,
Hmm.
and I hope you get reception. And he said, okay, I'll go. And then he put me in the closet where all his equipment and stuff is in it. But
Right.
I'll make it work. I just stack up my books and stuff and have my tablet to prop it, and
Hmm.
we had our show. So you gotta
Yeah.
start
I mean,
small.
I did the same thing with one of the other assignments where we had to interview a PR professional.
Hmm.
And I chose Greg Mello, who is an alumni of Stockton, and he's currently in Chicago getting his master's degree. And he works with the Bulls, and he does video things for the Chicago Bulls,
Oh,
which
nice.
is, yeah, it's incredible. And I I had to, interview him over Skype, and he's not much older than us, but like the things that like he's passed on to me, I'm like, Greg, I would not have gotten to this point
Hmm.
like for another few years probably until you told me. And um I was contemplating grad school too, and he told me, he's just like, if it's worth it, if you know to you, if you're passionate about it, then do it. But if you're doing it just because financially it'll be better, then like reevaluate yourself and find something that you are passionate about.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long semester and we have 1 month left.
Yep,
So
we did it though.
I know. I'm actually applying for a graduate program here
Okay.
for American Studies. And then shortly after, I will be also applying, after completing it,
Hmm.
um, I will be applying for the London School of Economics for my
Okay.
MBA.
All right.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And originally, I just wanted to do the London School of Economics for my MBA because I love culture.
Hmm.
My concentration would be in international diplomacy and business,
Okay.
and I want to travel. I want to do it, and like I love people. I love interacting with people. So that was like, it took me a little while to get to that point because it's expensive
Yeah.
to do, but in the end, like it will be worth it. Um, but yeah, American Studies came to me probably a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking at the different programs, and I was just like, well, I have to gain experience.
Hmm.
Um, and what better way to get more experience. Like I actually also will be freelance writing for the Press of AC.
All right.
I am applying for a entry level position at Stockton to hopefully help alleviate costs
Yeah, I hear
for
you.
grad school. And then, yeah, I will be here for American Studies, which, after reading the description at least, I think it'll be very beneficial for me or for anyone who wants to go into an international type
Mm-hmm.
field. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, what you?
Any plans for you?
I don't know. I'm just focusing on finishing my bachelor's,
Right.
and uh, I don't know. I'm not sure about it because like when you say like once you graduate, now what? And
Yeah.
and and Andy Ortiz reached out to me saying like because I gave him a suggestion because his company is only based on in Tempe, Arizona,
Hmm.
and I reached out and he was talking to me about like I mentioned to him like why don't you use Facebook Live like do like live streaming and you could
Hmm.
reach your customers. You could be your company could be like international like because
Hmm.
he's like he do leadership coaching. So
Great.
why don't you just do it like on live stream so you could reach a mass community?
Great.
And he said he'll reach out to me for help. And I said, okay.
That's awesome. I hope, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being on this live with me and reflecting on
No
everything essentially.
problem.
Um, yeah, it's been a pleasure. I still remember when we met in Suya's class for writing for the media.
Yep.
Woo.
Oh man.
I felt like that was so long ago, but it was just last year, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah. I was for my last semester. I mean, not this semester. I had her for intro to advertising,
Hmm.
and I didn't. I thought like I read the description. I thought it would be like a fun class, and stuff. But
Hmm.
I said no. I don't think that's for me because you
Hmm.
got to do a big strategic planning. But that's a similar way to we be doing and for Dr. I's class for the social media
Right.
marketing plan. But
Right.
I'm not. I'm a person. I like technology. I don't
Hmm.
like the original, the ordinary way. That's how Suya's teaching it. Like this plan for like a company or something. I want to do it more like for digital. So,
Hmm.
unfortunately, I dropped the class and I came right to Dr. I's class and we doing the social media
Yeah.
marketing plan.
That's awesome. I mean, I remember it too. I took the senior SEM, which is very similar to the PR advertising class
Mhm.
with Suya. But I think the difference was you were allowed to be in a group, right?
Mhm.
I did mine on my own.
Oh wow.
Mine was 70 pages long.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. But
Yeah.
I got the experience of it, and at least I know how to do it now. And
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because you did yours on Apple, right? Yeah, because
I did it for, I did mine on Apple for Dr. I's class as well.
she showed us that
And
example, your thing.
oh, yeah, because when I did it for Suya, it was very technical. It was very not aesthetically appealing, in my opinion.
Mhm. Same here.
Um, so when I did it for Dr. Eyes, I was like, I want to do something different. I want to do Apple because it's such a huge conglomerate that
Mhm.
everyone knows this brand. But because everyone knows this brand, everyone also knows the huge flaws about this brand.
Yep.
And so I wanted to do something in which that would not necessarily solve the problems, but also design something that'll be, easy to follow, straightforward, informative, but at the same time creative. And, I feel like sometimes I'm a writing minor too, so like yeah, you can write creatively, but I also wanted to help design things like creatively and make things aesthetically appealing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember, yeah, our table, it was rainbow colored,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and yeah, I was um I worked with Matt Gutch.
Yep.
Um
Yep.
and we were just like, let's make this fun. Let's like go crazy with it. Like, yeah, like it has to be like a campaign proposal, but who said it can't be pretty? Who said it can't be
Yeah.
fun? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I
that's what
remember.
we wanted to do.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm working with somebody, so we're doing Starbucks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we got the first part down, and then we're gonna do the second part. I'm gonna reach out to her.
Yeah. Yeah, best of luck. I mean, it was probably one of the hardest assignments that I had to do, but at the same time, one of the most fun assignments that I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
like project wise.
Yeah.
Because I got to kind of, yeah, I needed to look for information and things like that, but I got to kind of decide what my plan was and like show examples and like, all of the advertisements in there for like, I believe we picked Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure about Snapchat, but yeah, I actually designed those advertisement pictures, examples on our campaign proposal. And it was so much fun. I was just like, ooh, I want colors. I want it bright. I want it like, you see something, it's just like, I want to read that. I want to look at that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, best of luck to you, and I'll probably see you on campus,
Yep.
and definitely keep in touch and everything like that.
Of course.
I mean, yeah, actually, you live near AC, right?
Yeah, I live in Pleasantville.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my internship is in Pleasantville.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
I live just like 10 minutes away from the press.
yeah,
Is it that
yeah.
big building? That glass building?
Yeah.
Yep.
It has the huge sign that says Press of Atlantic
Yep.
City,
I
and
live.
then across the street,
I,
yeah.
I live like 10 minutes away from it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I go to my internship on Wednesdays and Fridays, and it's about a 10 to 15-minute drive, probably, which
Yeah.
isn't bad at all. But yeah,
And
I don't know. Sorry.
and I send doc. Well, I just got. Dr. I just sent me a message. I told her about my Facebook Live show and stuff, and she's oh yeah, she sent it to the to the group chat.
The
Group
page,
page,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I saw she gave you a really big shout out, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh. But yeah, I think this semester is the very last month. I think is gonna go by quick, and we'll be graduating, we'll be walking, and then life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you very much again.
No problem. No problem.
And yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Best of luck.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.